What's up, traders? Welcome back to another market analysis. We're going to be covering this whole week and everything that I'm looking for, guys. So I hope you guys had a profitable month of April. I know I did. I hope you guys had a profitable week last week. Now, last week it was break even for me with all the BS price action going on around NFP and everything like that. I know a lot of you guys seen it. Markets was kind of ranging last week. Hopefully we have a better week. Now we do have some news and I'm going to get straight into it, guys. Hopefully you guys did have a profitable month. If you did not have a profitable month, hit my Instagram, okay? Message me on Instagram. Tell me what you're struggling with, whether it be technical analysis, whether it be psychology, whatever it is. I'm gonna try to give you as much advice as I can and just help you in any way possible. Okay, so go ahead and reach out to me there. Follow me on Instagram. I send out informational videos on there too, showing you guys my trades and sharing my trades sometimes as well, and just giving you guys knowledge as much as possible for free, guys. Okay, so go ahead and check that out. Let's get straight into it. We're going to cover some news. We have some major news this week. We have FOMC. The major thing we're waiting for, guys, this is what everyone's waiting for. FOMC. We're going to see what Powell wants to do with these federal rates. Okay, you guys know the whole thing with Powell and Trump right now is Trump is trying to force Powell to cut rates. And you guys know if rates do get cut, that's going to be a weaker dollar, which this is what I want to see. I want to see the dollar keep going down. I still want to see continuations in EU. I still want to see continuations in GU, right? That's kind of how the market was kind of moving before. And it was giving us that trend. So we want to see if Powell is going to continue to cut those rates or if Powell is going to leave those rates alone. Okay, let's see what happens this week. Let's go over the news real quick. Okay, so you guys can see what we have going on this week so far. So starting off on Monday. Monday, we have CPI for the chef. So if you're trading any chef pairs, make sure you're looking out for that. I mean, that's at like 2:30. It's like 2:30 a.m. for me. I'm not up during that time. So unfortunately, um, I won't be able to see what happens. When I wake up, I'll see what happens. But you guys can see we have CPI and then we have ISM at 10 a.m. That's going to be something you're going to have to look for my futures traders that's trading indices, that's trading NQ, MNQ, that's trading YM, US 30. For you guys know, US 30 NAS, XPX. Watch out for that. That's going to be like 30 minutes after market open. So I'm going to be looking out for that for sure, since I like to trade market open. We have unemployment and employment for the New Zealand. That's going to be Asian session time frame. And then Wednesday, which is going to be the big boy right here, the big boy news, FOMC. Personally, if you're not into any trades and you can't go break even or whatever the case may be, please do not try to trade this. All right, guys, please, I beg you, please do not try to trade this. Okay, don't try to predict news. We wait and we react from news. Okay, we don't predict news. So do not try to trade this and predict the price action. Okay, you just don't know what's going to happen. All right, market has spread, and when spread happens, that can stop you out so easily. Actually, last week I got stopped out on spread, and the market was nowhere near my stop loss. Okay. Thankfully I lost exactly what I was supposed to lose, because sometimes you can lose a lot more when it comes to spread, especially if it's major news. I don't want you guys losing percentages on your funding accounts or on your challenge accounts because you're trying to trade news. Okay, wait for the reaction. Okay, wait for after news and then you trade the reaction of news. But I'm really curious to see what's going to happen if Powell is going to start cutting rates. It looks here the forecast is going to be the same. They're going to keep rates the same. That's what he's been saying over time. He wants to keep rates the same. But we will see what happens based on what's going on in the economy right now. We will see what's going on with the US. Okay. We have a lot of pound news on Thursday as well. And then we have unemployment and employment for the Canadian. All right. So a lot of unemployment and employment news. You guys know it is a new month. That's when all of these, different rates and all of these for different currencies, different countries come out. So these, I'll say the first week of the month is usually the busiest week as far as news and unemployment and employment. And you guys know next week we're going to have CPI as well, which we're going to look out for. But this is basically the news. Let's get into the technical price action. Turn that alarm off. Let's get into the technical price action here. Let's go. Let's go into DXY. Let's talk about it. What are we seeing here on DXY? So let's go to the daily time frame here. I'm not going to go too deeply into this, guys. I just kind of want to show you where we're at here. So you can see here on DXY, we're in this bearish leg towards the downside. right? Bearish leg towards the downside. We pulled back into the higher time frame point of interest, which is here, and we're kind of just sitting here. So as far as what's going on, you guys can see this price action here is from 2000. We're in a whole different economy now than we were in 2000. That's something that you want to actually do when you're looking at your market and you're kind of just analyzing old price action. Understand this is a whole different time period, and we're in a whole different, this is like what, 25 years away, guys. Whole different economy that we got to look at. So what is going on right now? Right now we see that the 4 hour, the intraday structure, it is a bullish time frame. Okay, we're in a bullish leg towards the upside here on the 4 hour time frame. So we know that the market has been coming down, right? We know that the dollar has been weakening. We have been seeing some strong weakness here. Now we're on the weekly time frame. Look at these candles, guys. Look at these bearish candles towards the downside. Look how strong these candles are. I also do see that we left some weekly imbalances as far as right here. This could be like a later target here. This weekly imbalance right here. And then also you can kind of see we're coming to fill this weekly imbalance here. So I believe that potentially maybe this is our reaction off of the weekly imbalance. I really have to see how the next day opens. Let's go to the daily time frame. Let's see what's going on. So here we have a major daily imbalance, right? That a fair value gap. You guys know that fair value gap that the market is filling. Look how we got this strong reaction, but look at this. Look what the market's actually doing. We're reacting off of bullish imbalances as well. As you can see right here on the daily time frame, we're reacting off this daily imbalance, and that's basically what I've been kind of seeing last week on DXY, is that we're kind of looking for a retracement here. That's what it looks like at the moment. You can see we're in a point of interest, this reaccumulation right here that I had marked out. This reaccumulation was marked out years ago, okay? And we're just now getting into it. We have swept some lows here. We swept these lows. We swept those lows here. So we could see that immediate reaction back towards the upside just to fill some of these imbalances over here. We swept these highs, and then you see that push lower. This could be the sweep of these lows to push higher. Now, do I think the market's just going to turn around and go higher forever? No, I think this is just a reaction. Reason why is because we didn't see that accumulation, guys. You know, we still have our Wyckoff theory that we like to see. We like to see accumulation of orders that just shows us buyers are getting into the market. We can see this market is retracing back, but I don't see the accumulation of orders. All right, what does an accumulation of orders look like? I can show you a clean distribution. Well, here it is right here. Here it is right here, an accumulation of orders. You guys see how this market ranged? You guys see how this market created this range, and we have buyers just accumulating orders here, right? We have buyers accumulating orders. When the market is ranging and you see an accumulation, we are accumulating orders. And then you see this market just impulse towards the upside, right? You can see this huge push towards the upside after that accumulation. I don't see the same thing here, at least not yet, right? This is much more of a range. This looks like just a V pullback, right? We just, boom, kind of went down. We hit this demand zone, and look, this market is just kind of pulling back. We don't see that same kind of range and then that push. Right, I just don't believe there's enough buying orders filled here yet for us to get that major push. But I can see us retracing back towards the upside a little bit, especially after last week's price action. Here, we still have this liquidity here that we can come and take out, which I would love to see us come and take out. And then we have these highs right here that we can come and take out as well. So NFP kind of just showed us that this market wants to retrace a little bit. So we want to see that. I want to see that this week. I'm going to anticipate that this week, a retracement on DXY. So kind of a bullish dollar just to get us above these highs here and just into this imbalance right here, right? This fair value gap. And potentially, guys, maybe over here, right? This is where I kind of see us coming to before we get another like reaction and then go lower. If we break this high, then I believe we're going to go a little bit higher, taking out this high and coming up here and filling up all of that price action right there. So that's what I'm going to be expecting here on DXY. Now, guys, if we sweep these highs here and then we immediately just, you know, start breaking lows, then we're going to continue seeing the bearish downtrend, or hopefully this might be the start of our range, right? This might be the start of our accumulation here. Maybe we'll see something like this, but this is all hypothetical scenarios. Right now, what I'm seeing on the charts and basically what we're seeing right here is we're seeing this market wants to go out for this liquidity. Let's just focus on that first. So that's going to be our first target, is looking for DXY to go higher and at least take out these highs and all of these highs here before it makes its next move. Okay, that's basically what I'm going to be focusing on. All right, so on EU, what have we been seeing? On EU, we know this market has recently made a new high, right? We recently made a new high on our intraday. We got this huge bearish push. This is the accumulation of orders, guys. This is what I'm talking about. You guys see how this market has a huge range? You guys see how this market has like a huge range right here? And just look at all of these lows. Look at the wicks of these lows. These are institutions getting their orders filled. Okay. After that, look at this impulsive move. Look at these impulsive moves that takes us to the upside, breaking this high, right? I know buyers are in control from here. Okay. So this is our leg towards the upside based on the 4-hour time frame. Now, zooming into the 1-hour time frame, what do we see? We see we have smaller legs, right? Smaller legs that's taking us towards the upside here. And this is basically what we're following right now. We use the 4-hour for our higher time frame, 4-hour in the daily for a higher time frame, than 1 hour is the actual intraday time frame that I'm trading and I'm looking for my setups. So when I go to the lower time frame here, not gonna lie to you, he's been kind of ugly, guys. I didn't take any trades on EU at all last week. It's been really ugly. I know a lot of my students, a lot of mentees, a lot of just members in the Discord. A lot of you guys are telling me about how slow these markets was this week. I know, I felt it too. I stopped trading early last week. Last week was kind of just a break-even week for me, and it's NFP week. You guys know how NFP week is, so we don't really have to say too much about it. All right. So here's NFP price action. NFP price action gives us its impulse. After that, you can see we kind of just fall, right? We're dropping towards the downside. What I'm kind of looking for, I'm looking for just a breakout, guys. I'm looking for this market to actually break out. You can see we're in the same area. This is what we're talking about. We're in the same area for like 21 days. We really haven't moved away from this price action. So you guys know I don't like trading ranges. So I wasn't trading anything inside of here. I just don't like to stress myself in this type of price action. I want the market to be clean. I want to see something. And if the market's not clean, I'm gonna go to another market and find a cleaner market, okay? That shows me something better. So, but basically, for those of you that's trading EU, what are we looking for here? What do I want to see? So one or two things, guys. I love the fact that NFP gave us this manipulation higher. Now, what I need to see from that is I need to see lower price action, right? I need to see this market kind of come down. Once we invalidate this low right here, this is an important low because this is our last valid demand zone. Let me show you right here. You can see we have this manipulation of Asian lows, and then we have that impulse. And since then, all we've gotten was mitigations, right? We mitigated that demand zone here. Let me just put this here. So we mitigated this demand zone here. We got the push, we mitigated again, and then we got this push. Since then, this is our only valid demand zone because that is what led us to a new high. Since then, we've been stuck right here. So if we break this low, if we break this low here, I'm going to start looking for shorts to the downside to fill up all of this inefficiency. Okay, that's what I'll be looking for here on EU, and that's if we break that low. Now, if we just continue higher, guys, then I'm gonna keep buying it because technically we are still bullish since we still have not invalidated this demand zone. I'm waiting for that change of character. You guys know I like to wait for the change of character before we start taking reversals, before we start taking the opposite side. All right, we need to see the market prove to us that it wants to go lower. So we invalidate buyers. Once we invalidate buyers, then we take the market lower. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for here on EU. Just seeing if we can get this change of character after that impulse from NFP. Moving on to GU. GU is kind of like the same thing here. The thing that I do like about GU is this is not our change of character. This is our change of character. I have to update that. There we go. So GU is the same way, right, guys? We have this high that creates this low. Now we have this low that creates this high. We're in a bullish leg on the 4-hour time frame. When we zoom in on the 1-hour time frame, we can see this here are daily imbalances that I have filled out. And let me actually mark that out so we know. Computer is tripping. All right, there we go. We're good now. Daily time frame. All right. So these are daily imbalances that we're looking for. GU looks a little bit easier right now. It looks a little bit easier to tell what we're going to do. You guys can see we have these bullish pushes towards the upside, right? Bullish pushes towards the upside here. We made that new high. We broke that high. And now we're seeing this major fall off. Now, guys, I would have loved to buy from GU here. Trust me, during our live calls, we were talking about this, looking for buys on GU. There was just nowhere here that I could take a entry and be happy about. Reason why is because we have all of these lows here. I am not going to be liquidity for these institutions, okay? Especially with all of that liquidity sitting down here, guys. We're not going to be taking a trade from here. You guys know, do not buy immediately off liquidity pools, okay? You're setting yourself a failure. Do not do it, please, okay? So what is this market? What are we looking for? So already what I can tell by the market cycle, and basically what I'm going to be looking for, since I'm not looking for buys here, I really want to see this change of character, but we might take like a premature trade here just because I'm really confident that we're going to take out these lows here. So what I would love to see, and I love the fact that, you know, NFP took out these highs. So we talked about this in my latest video. I talked about order flow. What is the order flow looking like right now, guys? We have manipulation of Asian highs. We have that push lower. And then we have another manipulation of Asian highs here. And then we have that push lower. The main thing that I want to see, the minimum, is a break of this low. Okay? A break of this low, a valid break of this low, impulsive break of this low to the downside here. Once we see that impulse, you know, with a body candle, you guys know we look for the body candle. With that body candle, we will be taking our trade. We have a nice imbalance right here that I could look for a fill of. Let me see. So yeah, we have a nice imbalance that I could look for this fill of right here. And basically, I'm looking for the market to go lower. Let's break these lows. Let's sit underneath these lows. After that, you see that retracement back into that imbalance here, and then we will take the market lower. That's something that I'm looking for here on GU. Potentially the entry just may come off right here, guys, just to make it simple. Right, just come off straight off the imbalance, target of 1 to 3. This is not confirmed yet. Do not place this trade. Okay, look at me. Do not place this trade. This is not confirmed yet. We need the break of this low, and I really just want to see how the market opens. But this is something that I am going to be looking for if we do see that, you know, continuation to the downside. And if not, guys, if not, we're going to wait for the market to create the same setup, okay? I'm really confident that we possibly are going to take out these lows this week, probably with FOMC, maybe before even FOMC. We have ISM on Monday, so we possibly will see that. And then after that, once we take out this low, it's going to be a free fall. I'm going to be looking for sales until at least this imbalance here, okay? So that's what we're going to focus on GU. If we can get that retracement here on DXY, as we're stating, if DXY is going to give us that, you know, initial push, you guys know, if DXY is going higher, this is a rule of thumb, is DXY is going up, we have EU is going to go down, GU is going to go down. And that's just because it's the opposing pair, guys, right? Make sure you're paying attention to the pairs that you're actually trading, and you understand why one is moving, why the other is moving. All right, if you're trading mainly dollar pairs like I do, I mean, I have a little bit of JPY pairs and other pairs here too, but if you trade a lot of dollar pairs, understand DXY is going to be your best friend, okay? Just try to study it, try to understand the directional bias. You don't need to trade it like a regular pair, but just kind of understand it with the directional bias. So moving on to AU, we see AU is actually going up, right? Opposite of what GU and opposite of what EU is doing at the moment. Now, with that being said, understand that if overall the market sentiment for DXY is to go higher and DXY begins to strengthen, you're going to see AU start following along. So what does that mean? This could potentially just be impulse manipulation or just an impulse to raid these highs. Now, personally, I'm looking at AU right now, guys, and I don't have a setup. I know one of my mentees was looking for a setup. Where was it at? Let's look at the structure. We have this low. We push to this high. This low. Yeah, we push to that high. We have this low. We push to this high. we have this low here, and now we're pushing to this high here. So this is our last low that pushes to this high. I know one of my mentees was looking for a trade somewhere inside of here off of this imbalance. That was a profitable trade, and we got the push off of that trade right here. So that was a good trade for him, I believe. I don't know if he got stopped out. I don't know. I have to look back at the actual entry, but I am confident that this is what I seen, if I'm not mistaken. Now, this is not a trade that I would have taken, guys. Just simply put, you guys can see it, the range, right? I told you guys last week was not the best week. So we're going to try to break down as much as I can and give you as much as I can as directional bias. As far as setups at the moment, it's not looking kind of bright, right? I'm going to wait for Monday to open up, but I'm going to give you guys my directional bias here. So AU is giving us this bullish price action. Now you can kind of see already have the daily imbalances marked out here that when we do create that change of character, I want to see the market come into, and I'm going to update this change of character. It's actually going to be the break of this low here. That's where our change of character is going to be. Now, as far as price action and zooming into here, guys, I don't see the impulse that I want to see. I know you guys are looking at this right here. You're looking at this one move right here. This is during Asian session. Okay, I'm not looking for impulses during Asian session. I'm looking for impulses that happen after news, impulses that happen during London session, impulses that happen during New York session. Asian session does not have a lot of liquidity fueled behind it. Okay, so I don't really trust the Asian session impulses unless it's news, all right? Unless it's a news event. So just understand that, okay? Now, as far as this market is going here, I'm seeing this on the 1 hour time frame. We're seeing this manipulation right here, and this is basically from that NFP price action. So I really want to see how the market is going to act within this NFP price action. So let's say we're going to have this as we're going to put this as a demand zone, right? And that's just NFP. If the market comes in here, let's say Monday, and we just come here, we sweep some lows, and then we just keep pushing higher, I will take this trade here. I will take this next trade, and I will follow this move towards the upside. So I will follow AU towards the upside if it does continue to give me that push. I need to see that setup happen here. If we invalidate NFP, I'm not going to be looking for buys anymore. I'm actually going to be expecting us to actually come down here and create this change of character. All right, so then we'll start looking for sales to kind of take this market down to fill some imbalances down here and just kind of fill up all of this inefficient pricing. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking for here on AU. No current limit order at the moment. I don't want to delete everything. Hold on. No current limit order at the moment, but this is going to be the thing that we're going to look for here. And I'll just delete all of this. Move on to UCAD in a second. And as you guys know, once the market does give us our setups, I will send it to you in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. There's a free link and down in the description. It's an invite link that you could just join and, you know, just join the community, chat with us, start talking with us. And basically the goal is to build a community of profitable traders. All right. I do have my mentorship in there. That is kind of restricted for my mentorship members and those of you that want specific mentorship and you want teachings. That's for you, but you don't have to join for that. You can join just for the community and just to chat around. Talk to me, talk to the other traders that's in there, and just kind of form a bond with traders. You want to surround yourself with other like-minded people. So if you're not in a group, obviously you want to trust the group, and you want to trust the group and people that you actually trust. All right. So if you're not in a group, I'm telling you, trading is very hard when you're doing it alone. But when you're doing it with other people and you have a community of people and you wake up, you're seeing other people take trades, it just motivates you to take trades too. It motivates you to keep going. When you see other people winning, you see other people taking winning trades, it motivates you as well. All right. And you can talk to those people, right? A lot of good people in there, guys. So it's not always about, you know, paid groups and doing all this. That's not what we're doing here. Okay. Understand that. Now, I still don't trust USD CAD. I'm sorry, guys. I know we took this sell here off of this supply zone and we took that sell lower. We swept these lows. That is great. I don't trust it still. We just have so much liquidity up here, guys. So much liquidity on USD CAD. Like, just look at all of this liquidity. So honestly, I really want to see some longs. I really want to see some longs. Like, to be honest, if we invalidate here, invalidate supply, and this is going to be a valid supply that we're going to invalidate because this is NFP price action, right? So if we invalidate this current area of supply right here on USD CAD, I'm going to be looking for longs. Okay. Once we do, I'm going to be looking for longs, right? Little tap, look for longs to take out this high, look for longs to take out all of these highs right here. And our demand zone is already done. All right. We can delete this. That was our demand zone. We already took the trade. We took the sell. Let's take out this liquidity. It's already done. This liquidity just got swept here. So we'll leave that there. This imbalance does not matter. Let's just kind of clean up this pricing here so we can get a clear statement of what we're doing. And then we have those highs right there. Okay. So what do you see that USD CAD is doing, guys? Look at after this major fall off right here, we're kind of building an accumulation, right? We see the market is slowing down. We're not as, I would say, steep. You guys can see how this market is very like steep towards the downside. And then now we're kind of getting slow, right? That means buyers are getting interested at this pricing. And especially since if I go to the 4-hour time frame, you're going to see why I say that as well. 4-hour time frame, you can kind of see we had this major leg towards the upside here on the 4-hour time frame. So we might be due for a pullback, and I would love to see that here. So I want to see us invalidate NFP first before I start taking long. So that's what I'm going to be looking for here, guys. I'm going to set an alert right here, actually, because that's going to be very important. This is some easy liquidity coming target. So we could possibly get a nice A setup here. Invalidated NFP. That's what we'll be looking for, right? Invalidation of NFP. And once we see that, we'll look for longs to target these sides. Okay. Let's go to USHEF. I'm kind of mad at USHEF right now. We're in a range, unfortunately. So the thing about USHEF is I still believe we can go higher. You guys know we took a loss. Where did we take that loss? We took a loss off of this area right here. You can see the market kind of just swept us out and then it went lower. Of course, it happens, guys. It happens. All right. So the trade we was basically looking for was we're looking for a sell out of here, this area here, because we invalidated these lows, right? These were demand zones that the market invalidated. So we're kind of looking for that sell to target some imbalances down here. Now, honestly, this was a counter trend trade because we did get a change of character to the left here. And technically order flow is still holding from down here to this high. So this is why I'm still looking for longs on USHEF, is because these is still holding, right? The order flow is still holding and everything like that. So we're still going to be looking for longs on USHEF. It's just I need this price action to kind of clear itself up a little bit. All right, I need to see some pushes. I really didn't like the fact that we did not break this high right here. And so far here we got a high and then we have our low, which is going to be sitting right here. So you guys know the deal. We're going to be looking for a breakout, all right? I'm going to be looking for a breakout. I'm going to be looking for a breakout either of this low. Once we break this low, we'll start taking shorts. Breakout of this high. Once we break this high, we'll start taking longs to target this imbalance and basically just targeting all of this inefficiency right here to the upside. All right. USHEF had a major drop. So this is why we were looking for that retracement to kind of just fill up all of this inefficient pricing. And then we possibly could continue this bearish price action that we kind of been seeing here, right? On the higher time frame, guys, just go on a higher time frame. We got this high here. We didn't create this low right here. So we have that high that just creates this low. So USHEF is bearish, all right? On the higher time frame, we are bearish. So that's why if we do see that break of market structure, and that's also why when I did see that we started invalidating these demand zones here, we started looking for, you know, bearish price action, especially after, look at this candle, right, guys? Look at this one candle, okay? Look at that one candle to the downside. So that's why we're kind of anticipating some sells here. But with the market being in a range, if we do break this high, we'll come up here and we'll target this kind of fair value gap, this imbalance here on the 4-hour time frame. If not, and we break this low here, I'll take shorts. And then we also have a gap down here that we could target for an easy take profit. And then of course, if this market falls even lower, we'll just take out the low. So it really depends on what the momentum is and how heavy this market is falling. Let's move on to UJ. Okay, so UJ, we can see UJ is giving us bullish price action towards the upside. I'm actually going to be looking for longs here on UJ. I can see that we came into this, right? We're filling up this gap here. We're filling up this gap here on the 4-hour time frame. Looking on just the higher time frames here, we got to break it this low. We did not break this low, unfortunately. We didn't even have a wick that went past that low just yet, so we didn't create a new low on the higher time frame. Let's go on lower time frame. Let's see what order flow is looking like. We have a push. We have this demand zone that's still holding. This demand zone got invalidated. It was used as inducement. This was used as inducement here. We still had the liquidity. We came up, we took the liquidity. We know news gave us that impulse to the upside here. And what else do we have? We have NFP right there. NFP right there. So basically, guys, what I'll be looking for, if this market can continue this bullish pressure, market structure, if we continue this bullish pressure, I'll just simply take a trade off of NFP, guys, and we'll continue taking this higher. Okay, that is something I'll look for. I see that NFP did come here and just kind of tap into this news that JPY had. You guys know the Bank of Japan had their conference this week that we were talking about, and this was kind of that move that gave us that impulse towards the upside. So I'll be looking for us to just come back and fill. Well, not right now. We just already came back and tap into it. We didn't feel the imbalance down here, but we came back into the price action overall. If I go into the 4-hour time frame, you guys can see we tap here into that just bullish price action here. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good that the market gave us that. So now I'll be confident if we do go higher here and we break this high, I'll be confident to just keep looking for longs out of this area here and then kind of just take us higher and basically give us that proper retracement, right? We can see we have from this high to this low, we don't have a proper retracement yet, especially going off like this. We see we have this, right? From this high to this low, we came back to 50%. We see we have this right here from that high to this low. We didn't come back from that high to this low. We've just made it back, right? We've made it back right here when we came up here. But you see how the market is holding that. Let me get back into this right here. Boom. You see how the market is holding this area? If the market continues to hold this area, guys, right here, like let's say the market is slowing down, is slowing down, is slowing down. If we don't see that impulse that breaks this high, I'm not going to be looking for longs because just look at where we're at, right? But if we do continue seeing bullish price action, bullish momentum, just buyers just getting in, I will look for longs here. So be kind of careful here on UJ. We are at an interesting area here. We just got into the 71, but we're holding the 50%. So depending on how we react and go higher, I will look for longs. But if shorts do present themselves, we're going to hop onto that quickly. Okay, very quickly if they do present themselves. But right now, buyers are in control. Okay, so just making sure you're looking out. We just took out this liquidity here. We tapped into that fair value gap, into that imbalance, and we got that wick from NFP. So that's our suspicion right now. We got this wick from NFP, so we're going to be a little bit suspicious here on UJ. All right, gold. I've been telling you guys here what to look for on gold. Wait for gold to keep pushing lower. I have this kind of fair value gap down here that the market may respect, it may not respect. That's just an area that you could potentially look for a lower time frame trade in. That's not going to be the major. That's not going to be the major area here. So, but the major area in this would be the 71 towards the 80 right here. This is going to be the area that you're going to be focusing on right here. That's going to be the area for gold. That's going to be the highest probably area that you want to look for trades in, and you just want to look for longs in. Okay, so this smaller area here, this little imbalance that I have here, that's just a small potential area that you could look for like a 1 minute, maybe a 5 minute reaction. If you do see it, then you can potentially take a trade, because technically we are in discounted pricing. If you don't see it and the market just falls through, don't worry about it. This is not an end all be all area. Okay, and this is also an area that you could target for more shorts. All right, you can see this market here. You can see this market here is still technically bearish towards the downside, and we're still pushing lower. So if we continue to see that push, if you're looking for shorts, that's an easy target for you. Target the imbalance. We know market likes to fill imbalances. It likes to target fair value gaps. So that's an also easy target for you if you're still looking for shorts. Technically, I would be looking for shorts here still on gold, since we haven't invalidated any of these highs yet. And guys, this market has just been insanely bullish towards the upside. Okay, so moving on, let's go to GJ here. GJ, I'm looking for longs. GJ missed me last week, unfortunately, guys. It missed me here off of this demand zone. And then we have that news that just gave us that push. So GJ here is showing us bullish price action, right? Our last area of demand is going to be from here. That was sponsored by news. So we see the market come down here and we give reactions in here and we give pushes. That'll be something that we look for here on GJ. But for now, guys, just look at where GJ is at, okay? We are in higher time frame premium pricing. Be careful. All right, this demand zone right here, depending on how we act, I don't see any manipulations of liquidity at these highs yet, and that's really what I'm looking for. Once I start seeing the market start manipulating Asian highs and we start pushing lower, that's when I'll start catching on to that bearish order flow, and we can kind of just sell this market into that demand zone. Reason why we can do that, guys, is we are at premium pricing. Now, I would have loved for that to happen up here, but it didn't. So I need the market to kind of start creating something for me here and start giving me that kind of push. But I am suspicious here on GJ, all right? Be suspicious here on GJ, because understand on the higher time frame, we do have this leg towards the downside. You guys can see that leg is our latest leg, right? Just kind of zooming out. Look at these legs, high, low, high, low. So we are in that bearish kind of price action here on the 4-hour time frame. But on the 1-hour time frame, we see that the market is still maintaining bullish order flow. We're still maintaining bullish pressure. So until I start seeing manipulations of lows, and so we start seeing manipulations of the highs, and just basically what our A setup, what we're looking for, we see Asian session manipulate highs and we go lower, we see some drops, we'll start looking for shorts, because we're in premium pricing and we're at the 80%, right? We're in extreme premium pricing. So until we see that, sit tight. All right, sit tight. I'm going to be watching GJ and seeing if we trade back into this demand zone before we push higher. All right, and let's kind of scan through here. GJ is bullish as well. Let me see. I'm kind of scan through here, guys, go through the major things that I'm looking for. Not GJ, I'm sorry, CAJ is bullish. I am tripping. My bad. It is very early, guys. Well, I would say very early, but I've been up very early. But CAJ, we're still bullish here. I believe all the JPY pairs. Now I'm gonna just kind of put these all into one, except for, let's look for CAJ here. Me and CAJ are not cool right now. That's why it's in red. It gave me a loss last week, so we're just, you know, we're chilling right now. CHF JPY, we tapped into this demand zone right here. And since then, we've kind of been pushing higher. Now, the price action itself hasn't been the cleanest for us to take any buys from. This demand zone here literally might be the best area to take a buy from. As far as that goes, since then, we kind of, you know, you see the market is kind of not creating those lower time frame that we're looking for in here. There potentially was something in here, but the imbalance already got filled, so that would have been the order, and then the market already pushed. So and after that, we have the news. So as far as CHF JPY goes, it's not the 100% the cleanest, but I do like this price action right here. If we get a break of this high, right here, that'd be very, very, very good. Okay, we have our sweep. We have our sweep and liquidity here. all we need is the break of structure. We need an external break of structure. So if we get a break of this high, I will actually trade this area here for our next buy. Probably the 50% of this whole thing. We'll take a limit order off of that and we'll continue buying CHF JPY. CHF JPY is a bullish pair, guys. So if you do catch buys on this, please take it. All right, just look at this market here on the higher time frame. Okay, the more I zoom out, the more your mouth is like, wow, right? It's like, it's crazy. It's insane. Just look at this, guys. I was looking at this since 2022. All right, you can see I already have this marked up. Since then, just off of these demand zones, it's just been going higher, respecting these areas. So we're going to continue buying this market, especially if you see buys in here. So that's what I'm going to be looking for here. And I'll actually put this as something that I'm looking for this week. I'll put an alert here. Buy order flow. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to ACAD. We're finally pushing higher. ACAD and AU are literally the same thing to me, guys. So the same thing that I was seeing on AU, I'm seeing on ACAD, right? Just ranging. I was waiting for this market to just kind of break out of this range. Now, the reason why I'm not aggressive here as well on ACAD is just look at where we're at. On the 1 hour time frame, look at this last high to this low. We just have this push lower. We're approaching premium pricing. So I'm really looking for shorts. I really want to see some short opportunities here on ACAD. So until we start seeing that, I'm going to leave ACAD alone. I don't like the price action already, so I'm not going to be aggressive here on these buys. I'm trying to take this market higher. I'm going to be a little bit more patient on ACAD. That's why it's been just sitting here, and I'm just waiting for it to give me that next setup that's following the price action, right? You can see we are in a bear structure. We should be looking for sales, especially in premium pricing. Okay. Let's move on. Let's go to GCAD. So we see that GCAD here has respected this order flow. You guys know on the 4 hour time frame here, we have this kind of major leg towards the upside, but on our order flow based on the 1 hour, you can see we have this low here to this high. We broke this low. Now we have this low here to this high, and we just kept pushing lower. We're respecting that still. We have not invalidated this high. So because I see that we're respecting that, and you guys can see we created like that 3 drive move on the higher time frame. We have a major distribution. All right, we have 1, 2, 3 highs. We mitigate this and then we push lower. I'm going to be looking for shorts. Yes, I want to say yesterday, but Friday, I'll say Thursday and Friday, I was looking for shorts here. The price action just got super ugly. All right, we had a nice manipulation of highs. I love this move. I just needed us to match that same aggression down lower. And you can kind of see we didn't even sweep out Asian highs here. The market just kind of was just messing around. We didn't get that major push that I was looking for, but I am looking for shorts here on GCAD, guys. So coming into Monday, maybe Tuesday, let's say we give a manipulation of Asian highs here and we see that next push lower, I will take a sell here on GCAD. So that's what I'm looking for, guys. I'm looking for sells on GCAD here. And where could we target? Where are we looking to target? Let's see. We have this daily imbalance right here that we could for sure target right there. All right, that's kind of close. And then we also have like a 4 hour down here that I've seen. That's another nice target. All right, so daily right there and 4 hour. Daily's really close. We'll probably come to that very soon. Let's move on real quick. Let's go to eChef here. eChef was another one this week that was kind of messing around with me. We took a loss on eChef. Unfortunately, our stop loss was at this high. You can see we barely got stopped out, right? Last week was just I wouldn't say a frustrating week, annoying week. The markets was just playing around. So we barely got stopped out at this high, and look at this drop to the downside. This was the trade that we're looking for. We was taking a sell right out of this area right here. Wrong thing, wrong one. We're taking a sell out of this area right here, and you can see that we just got stopped out at that high, and the market pushed lower on us, giving us our direction that we're looking for anyways. So for here on eChef, I want to see some more pushes. All right, I need to see the next push, especially since last week, this was on Friday here, we pushed back very, very aggressive and we left a wick. Right, you guys know we look for body candles to close, so we weren't going to take a sell from here since we didn't get that body close. So what I'll be looking for next is just another push to the downside that gives us that same continuation. As long as we continue to see these bearish candles like this and that bearish impulse, I'll continue to try to sell this. So if we continue to see that to the downside, I will sell that. But be careful, because understand we are building liquidity at these highs. Okay, I can kind of see very, very valid liquidity up here being built. All right, so that's the trade here. That's what we're going to be looking for on eChef, just kind of looking for that continuation to the downside. NQ, these markets right now are bullish. I would say be careful. I kind of do see NQ and ES going higher. Now, honestly, I really want to wait until the market opens to give you guys my full analysis here on indices on Monday. Probably make its own separate video on that, because that's gonna go into a lot as far as fundamental analysis. But just looking at what we're looking at right here on technical analysis, what we're seeing, we're manipulation of lows, impulse is higher. Manipulation of lows, impulse is higher. Seeing the same thing on ES, manipulation of lows, impulse is higher. That's all we've been seeing last week. Manipulation of lows right here, impulse is higher. So technically right now on indices, I'm still looking for longs, and I'm just basically looking for longs to take out this high here on NAS, right? To just go for this high, this major high. And on ES, same thing, right? This high here first, this is going to be our first major area. And then on US 30, I'm looking for us to come fill this gap right here, this imbalance. So I'm still looking for, on the lower time frame as far as intraday, still looking for those quick pushes towards the upside. So that's what I'll be looking for here on indices. And that's pretty much it for me, guys. I will update you guys on Monday if any of this changes. Of course, join the Discord. It's a free link in the description. I will send out the specific setups that I'm looking for once the market opens and we see some movement. Then I'll start going in and looking for specific setups that form, and I will send that to you guys in the Discord. Join the community so you can see those trades and you can trade with us. I will see you guys on the live calls this week. Peace out. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.